Hi guys, it's Jake from Canadian Cutting Edge, and today is Fixed Blade Friday, and you probably weren't expecting a filleting knife, but since I got one given to me by a viewer, a subscriber, somebody who's becoming a friend of mine, wanted to remain anonymous, this is the Rapala made by Martini. It's called the Presentation Fillet Laminate knife. The handle is laminated. The handle is laminated birch. The blade is a stainless steel, genuine leather, European leather sheath, 6-inch cutting edge, a nice flexible filleting knife. Much nicer than the filleting knife that I currently have. I used to go fishing a fair bit. When I lived in Manitoba, a disabled parking permit owner got a free fishing license or conservation license, so you could, catch and keep as many fish as somebody with a conservation license was allowed to. And I lived in the north end of the province where there's loads of lakes, lots and lots of fish. And I don't really like fish, but I don't mind pickerel, walleye. It's a nice, light tasting fish. But then I developed gout, and fish isn't good for gout. But I still go fishing on the odd occasion, and this knife is much nicer than my current filleting knife. And so let's take a good look at this guy, and I'm going to review him for you right now. So let's start off with taking a good look at that logo that's on the sheath right here. Rapala, made by J. Martini in Finland. And that's got the R registered trademark. J. Martini is a Finnish knife company. They make a variety of style of knives. They don't just make filleting knives. They make hunting knives. They've got folding knives. They've got, I believe they got kitchen knives. They got a wide variety of knives. And they've been around for quite a while. I think 1928 or something like that, out of Finland. Let's talk about the sheath and get that out of the way. It's a well-made sheath. The leather, according to Martini, is a European sourced leather, and the stitching is done very well. The quality of the leather, there's no flaws or anything on this knife. I'm not sure how many years the previous owner of this knife had this knife, but it's still currently on sale. You can get it at Amazon.com or .ca, and it looks like it's done very well. There's an insert, if I can get the light just right there, you can see that black insert in there. That's going to be some kind of plastic to protect the sheath and the knife for a long life. And it's got a really high dangle. Easily put a 2-inch belt in there. When the knife is in the sheath, that snap with that leather holds it stiff in there. It's not going to come out, and it's got just a slight rattle if you get it in the right position, but you can shake it quite hard and it's not coming loose, not coming out. It's just there because it's made very well. So the sheath is a huge plus. Well made, good leather sheath for this knife. And we'll just leave the sheath right here at the top of the screen. It comes in 2 different colors. It comes in brown and it comes in gray. This is real wood, but it's not a solid piece of wood. It is, if you look closely, when I zoom in here, if you look closely, those lines are not year lines, those are lamination lines. So less than 1 millimeter thick pieces of birch have been laminated together to form this handle. That makes for a very stable handle, which is a really good plus on a knife that's going to be around water and stuff. So the wood is stabilized, the wood is strong. It's actually better than solid wood in most instances. Birch is a fairly soft hardwood. It is a hardwood, but it's fairly soft in the spectrum of hardwoods. And that's what it is. The handle shape is made very well for my hand size. I've got a large size hand which borders just on extra large in North American sizes. In European sizes, you would say my hand is between a 9 and a 10 for the glove size that I need. And so with the pommel of the knife, it swells up, and having the choil at the front, it really locks in there well. A big swell in the middle, both in terms of the belly being swelled out and the thickness being swelled out a little bit as well, makes it very, very comfortable in hand. Very easy to use, very good control, great handle shape. I like the handle an awful lot. And then you've got a brass end, and then you get your stainless steel blade. Why is my brain not remembering the word for this piece? For the brass piece. Oh well. It's done fairly well, and they've sanded it to go flush with the wood, so the fit and finish there is quite good. And the stainless steel that they use here, they don't tell us exactly what it is. They tell us that it's 13% chrome, stainless steel, and I got that from the Martini website. And if you look at the blade right there, there we go, you can read on there, it says J. Martini, Finland, hand ground stainless. They hand sharpen or hone each blade. That's a big deal. Not bad for a knife at this price range, and we'll talk about the price in a little while. It's a full flat grind, starts off at 1.1 millimeters thick, and then it goes down. The thickness just behind the grind is 0.5 millimeter. So 1.1 millimeter goes down to 0.5 millimeter, which is 0.02 inches. So that's the behind the grind measurement. And then you've got the final little grind to make this sharp edge a very useful knife. The length of the cutting edge is 6 inches, which is 15.3 centimeters. The handle length here is 12.6 centimeters, which is 5 inches. The thickness of the handle at the thickest spot is 2.3 centimeters, which is 0.9 of an inch. And the total length of the knife from, the pommel to the very tip of it is 28 centimeters. Not exactly, but very close to exactly 28 centimeters, which is right on 11 inches, just barely shy of 11 inches for this one. Since they are hand ground, each one is going to be slightly different length. So they're going to be right around 6 inches, give or take a tiny bit. And the weight of this knife is 84 grams, which is 2.9 ounces. And when you add in the sheath with the knife, it's 159 grams, which is 5.6 ounces. The price for this knife, I'm going to tell you the price at Amazon. I'm going to give links for Amazon in the description below. And you can find your prices elsewhere to be either more or less. I don't know. I just didn't have the time to check out all the different sites. I am an Amazon associate, so if you buy from one of those links, I get a tiny commission, and that helps to keep this channel going. Free donations help keep the channel going too. Thanks again to the fine guy who donated this knife to me. But Amazon.USA, this knife is $27.99, but the only option is with shipping not included, and they're charging you $12.55 shipping. So the entire price in US dollars at Amazon.com is $40.54 US for this knife. Amazon.ca has shipping included as if you're a Prime member, and then you're paying $54.45 Canadian. So that means the American price and the Canadian price, if we put the Canadian dollars into American dollars, it's almost identical. So the price is very much the same for a Canadian or an American from Amazon anyway. What's unique about this knife? Well, they put a coating on this blade, and the coating is PTFE, which is a polyterafluoroethylene coating, which sort of is a slippery kind of coating. It's actually supposedly it behaves like a lubricant when you're cutting, which was really good for filleting fish, for example, or filleting something else that's small or cutting something that's delicate. it's pretty cool. It's supposed sort of like a non-stick lubricating kind of fluid, but it leaves a 1 to 3 mil layer on top of the steel. So the steel might only be 1 millimeter thick instead of 1.1 that I quoted. The tip looks like it's had a little bit of a flex to it. Somehow it must have, just had a very slight run-in with something. It seems that way anyways. The pros of this knife: it's a nice steel, very flexible, just the flexibility that you want. Oh, I should also mention, at 13% chrome that they have in this knife, the other thing that they say is that it's 53 to 54 Rockwell hardness, and it really feels like it when you go to flex it. Very good that way. I like how strong the handle is. Using this laminate is actually, in my opinion, better than solid wood, especially for a knife that's going to be seeing wet action, because you're filleting in with water around and stuff, and you're going to get this all wet. So that's a really good thing. It says in the description of this knife that it has, let me get the wording exactly, a through tang. Now, when I see the word through tang, I'm assuming full tang. But that would not be accurate. This knife does not have a full tang. I took a rare earth magnet and it terminates right where my fingernail is right now. So the tang of the blade comes all the way back to right there, and then this last third is just wood back here. So it comes back about that far. That's plenty for this kind of knife, for the kind of cutting that you're going to be doing. It's not like you're going to be whittling wood and putting that much stress on the blade that it's going to break the handle ever. It's good enough, and I really like how well this knife performs. You want to see how well it cuts? Well, let's try it on some paper. Look at that edge. It's very, very crisp. I don't know how much, like I said, this knife was used before I got it, but it certainly has a decent edge right now. Let's see how it performs on something a little bit more substantial. This is 1 inch wide banding, and it just zips through that very, very easily. A couple layers of paracord, and it just wants to zip through those as well. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that other good stuff. I really love the comment section. I like to respond to every comment. Thank you for being part of Canadian Cutting Edge. Lately, I've been putting out too many videos. I've just been taking up too much of my my time. Although I do like doing this, it's a really good distraction from my pain. I just can't do one video every day, so I'm going to cut down to 4 or 5 videos a week. And I might separate Miscellany Monday into a separate video channel where I just do that kind of thing on another channel and just do 1 or 2 videos of different kind of gear on that channel. I'd really like you guys to comment on that. Tell me if you like the idea of me separating Miscellany Monday off to a separate channel. And are you fine with me just doing 4 or 5 videos a week about knives? Do you think that's a good idea? I'm thinking another benefit of that is I'm going to have my videos watched more per video. Right now, my viewership, it's just hasn't been growing along with my numbers of subscribers. What I mean is the number of views per video isn't going up along with my subscriber numbers. And I think that's because, if you see that you haven't watched for 4 days and I've got 4 videos out, chances are very low that you're going to watch all 4. And so if I only have 2 videos out after 4 days, there's a good chance you might watch both of them. And so I think that doing less videos is going to be beneficial in 2 ways. It's going to up my per video views, which I need to have higher so that companies and stores will send me more products to review, so it can save myself some money. And it will give me a little bit more time with my wife and family and that kind of thing. So let me know what you think of that. Thanks so much for hanging around with me again today on the Fishing Network. Remember guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.